Family's ranch down in Crawford, Texas.
Well, earlier we talked to former LAPD detective Mark Furman about this new book that's coming out about O.J. tomorrow. And in it, he confesses, among many other things. And O.J.'s former friend who wrote it claims that Simpson made a boozy murder confession about his ex-wife. Well, he was on booze and pot, let's be honest, according to the book, that is. Mark Gilbert's bold claims goes as far as saying he helped O.J. beat the rap. So is Gilbert setting himself up for big trouble? And is this book all prosecutors need to go after him? Let's find out. Our legal panel weighs in now. We got all the ladies on the set here today. Former prosecutor Joanna Greenwald and Fox News legal analyst Mercedes Colwin. All right, Mercedes, I'm going to go to you first because Joanna's going to pounce on you after you answer, I'm sure.
She's right.
All right, first of all, this Gilbert character. I mean, first of all, okay, when you go and write a book and say that you are an accomplice to a murder, aren't you just sort of throwing yourself out there, and do you consult your lawyer first?
I was just going to say that. What lawyer does he have? I mean, who did he talk to about this? He should have certainly said something to someone and say, could I publish this? Now, a couple of things. Accessory after the murder. Let's say he did know after the murders, although he had, according to his book, he said, O.J. never told me prior to the prosecution, prior to the acquittal, rather, he told me afterwards.
After he was found not guilty.
So that's kind of a little squeaky thing. But I also have to think, did Gilbert know anything during the investigation? Did he somehow mislead the investigators? We know law enforcement left no stone unturned here. They talked to every person. If Gilbert said, I have no idea, I don't think O.J. was there. If he had some information, misled the authorities, then he's in big trouble.
Well, I don't agree with you. I think the part
I
know it's a big surprise. I don't agree with her. The thing that I don't agree with, I agree in some areas, but not in this. As far as, even if he knew, the bottom line is he didn't have any duty. He didn't have any duty to report as far as if he knew about the murder.
If you witness, a crime, you have to do.
That's a moral obligation. But as far as the state, he didn't have to tell them anything. The issue that he will have, that I do foresee, is federally, because what he did say is not only did he deal with about the hand, but that still doesn't matter that he told them as far as with the hand that he said, don't take your arthritis medicine. Yes, that's obstruction of justice. Statute of limitation time for everything that he potentially did wrong. It ran, so it's too bad. The only issue that he will have is the federal issue, which is if he had any IRS, which he already said in many articles about tax issues, he's going to have an issue as far as personally, as far as probably a conspiracy issue for O.J., as far as paying him under the table and things like that. And what you'll see.
Here's the difference, though, Joanne. I think you're right. But if Gilbert somehow misled the authorities, and he did say something like this, if he's talking to someone who's law enforcement during the time of the investigation, that's going to be problematic for him, because now you've got a confession.
But even if it's
that's sort of. But you're talking about fraud.
All right.
If you deceive the law enforcement, the obstruction.
First of all, as two lawyers, then at this point, I mean, in all actuality, legally, is there ever going to be justice in this case? Will anybody ever pay?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I think one thing will happen, though. The IRS is going to get them. Isn't that funny? A lot of these issues come down to what will the IRS do in this instance. Certainly, if Gilbert said, "I was the one who hid the money. I'm the one who O.J. gave the money to, and I'm sort of filtering it through."
The Goldman family actually they did enjoy the fact that a book is coming out. And the reason for that is from many articles I read, they're saying that that's a blueprint potentially to find where he sheltered it. And what you're going to see, which I bet everyone's going to see, is that they're going to look under the Fraudulent Conveyance Act to find all these shelters that he put under his mother's name and all these. They'll get it.
I just got to throw this disclaimer out that Gilbert, by the way, for the record, is the second sports memorabilia dealer to write a book about O.J. Thomas Riccio, who arranged a Las Vegas memorabilia sale that led to Simpson's armed robbery arrest. He penned a book called Busted last month.
People like to make money, all more sports
but Simpson himself contributed to that controversial book, If I Did It, and he claimed that it was not a confession. So at this point, I think everybody's just trying to make a buck off of O.J.'s disgusting act.
But you know what's going to happen, though? Vegas, though. I think the Vegas issue is going to come back to haunt him, because everyone that's sitting here sort of waiting for him to find justice will certainly find him.
Hopefully,
Vegas might be
he could serve up to 25 years in prison for that kidnapping charge, among the many other charges.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, pshaw, what's that?
Oh, yeah. What does held at gunpoint mean anyway? All right, Joanna Greenwald, Mercedes Colwin, always great to have you. And shout out for your moms.
Oh, thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Lucianne.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy. Diane Greenwald, happy Mother's Day. I love you.
Happy Mother's Day to you both.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, coming up, we have much more to tell you.